Hello and welcome back to Lego City Undercover. Today we'll be doing the 2 levels. So let's go into those, shall we? After a little whittling around the menus and everything. So tonight we're going to do the Dojo and the Bank, which are the next 2 levels on the list to do in chronological order of what we visited. And both of them have a lot of interesting aspects to the revisit that I quite like. So, the Dojo, the first part's not going to take too long because
wonder if I could use that.
there's not much to get out here that we haven't already got.
Just a tiny little piece over there.
But I forget how little there is to do out here, so I just I get a few things done that I've already done, but that's largely because I just wanted to make sure I'd got everything I could. Luckily it doesn't take me long to realise what I've already got and what I don't need to do any more of, so this is me trying not to get caught underneath those things like I sometimes do with these annoying things. There we go, we have a vehicle. And so I actually kind of forgot while recording this is the only thing really to do out here anymore. So I'll get a few little things redone just because they're kind of fun, like this little maze. And then when we get inside we'll talk about the real meat of this level, the dojo itself, where most of the collectibles actually are. It's one big, interesting puzzle. Let's get this small puzzle done first though. It's a nice little... Let's just say that as a microcosm for the second part of the level, which makes a nice puzzle. I mean, I didn't, but we'll say that. And also, I quite like the fireworks, that's fun. Also, it's always nice to have way more of these than you need.
Slowly does it.
That's the only thing with the jackhammer, you can't actually punch stuff in the construction worker, because often you'll just get the jackhammer out instead.
Why would they keep hat stands outside?
About here was when I remembered just how little there was left to do out here. Yeah, this level can kind of throw you off, there's not that much else to do, but also I forgot about putting something on here, so I'm kind of glad that I always spent that much time here. That could have been bad to forget about. As you can see, we can't even put unlimited dynamite on in levels because it just doesn't work in levels. We have to find dynamite, which is really annoying and kind of just seems to defeat the purpose a little bit. To kind of enforce things that rigidly, but there you go. That was about what I remembered. Oh yeah, there's nothing else to do on the roof, so forget it. Right about here. This level can be hard to remember what you've already done and what you can't because this outside layer is so sprawling and there's so little to actually do here that it's not getting the super bits, which can be a bit of a criticism about this part of the game. That there's so much stuff in the second part of the dojo that you think you've already done everything or not done everything you can when you have or haven't. It can be very difficult to remember what's already been and what has yet to be. Well, most levels tend to be a little more even about it, so you can kind of remember, oh, I've got stuff in the first area, stuff in the second area, stuff in the third area. This is much less stratified and much more clustered. So let's head inside and complete the cluster. Because most, of course, what we did in there before was just straight up fighting. It was all scripted stuff, so let's actually do new things now.
Maybe there's a bell I have to ring for service.
First, of course, are colouring some statues gold. I quite like just the amount of stuff there is to do in the dojo as well, because the first time you come in here, you're pretty much just coming in here for, like, to talk shop with Barry pretty much. You don't really have anything you can do in here, it feels very restricted. And now we have the freedom to do absolutely everything. There's just so much to mess around with, and it becomes so satisfying to just go, hey, hang on Barry, I was going to touch everything in your house first. That's a pretty fun thing. we'll be ignoring the gong because that advances the story and doesn't let us get the rest of the stuff in this area. Which will be a massive waste of time. I quite like that this area also is home to a rather large, very well hidden puzzle as well. That we'll be arriving at very shortly. Now that we've done everything we can do from the bottom of the room. This teleporter takes us to the second floor, up here. And hey, there's Barry. That's where he's been all this time, hanging out on the top floor. This puzzle's kind of neat, although very simple. It's just look at the image below the big rotating block, and it will show you what character there is there. For example, in this far right one is the construction worker. So of course we need to select their particular tool. And of course it's just matching it up to whatever they use mainly. So the burglar doesn't have the crowbar because that would be too easy. It all tends to be like secondary tools. So except the man which has the pickaxe, it feels very inconsistent which one has the primary or secondary tool. I think it's so they can kind of try and trick you a little bit into overthinking things. But solving the puzzle gets us a red brick, and that's pretty nice. I quite like that puzzle. It's very simple when you know what you're doing, but it's a neat little idea as well. And this is cool too. There's actually a third story to Barry's temple as well. This enormous platforming section that serves only to get us to that golden colour gun thing if we didn't have the cheat on. Which we do, but it's nice to know where that is. So let's see what else we can find around here. That looks neat. A statue. I like these little side passages as well. Each of them of course has a token in it, and it feels very fun to figure out how to get them open. It's generally, I like this part of the level quite a lot. It's a neat little revisit because there's so much to just mess around with that you had no way of going anywhere near the first time you came into here because it's all late game disguises. And that's a really well done bit of game design. The fact that you come here and there's so much discovery to do on the second pass. It feels fairly satisfying. There's the dynamite we're looking for. And there is our very final thing. Nice little vehicle token, the hairdryer scooter. I like the name of that one, it's pretty cute. And now we've got everything, so let's move on. Super throw. That'll be useful for some of the fights in the later level revisits. Not much else though. Performance car. Finally get normal Barry, the Barry with trousers. And our hairdryer. It's always really satisfying watching these like numbers go up as well with these kind of games. We're just seeing how much closer and closer you're getting to reaching the target number. It's always a niche I like scratching in these kind of games. I like a lot of different collectathon games that I'm planning on doing quite a few of in the future that are much smaller than this one. This is perhaps the biggest game I'm planning to LP because it's so much to do in this game. And the other games I'd like to show off, I'm just not very good at, so. For now, I'm just trying to find the bank on the map and just remember that it's in south, so I've found it now. In downtown. It took me a while of navigating the map to find that. But now we can replay Dirty Work and see what we've missed in here, which is a substantial amount.
Hey, Chase, you in the bank?
I'm in a sewer.
Wow, did you take a wrong turn? I'm kidding. I've been reading the instructions for the color gun.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're gonna need to fill it from a color swapper.
That sounds like an unusual thing to find in a sewer.
I agree. I just have this weird feeling there'll be one down there.
That's a neat little token. I quite like the little unique flip out thing of that, although I don't know what the intergalactic girl has to do with the sewer. One of those mysteries. Of course, you have to solve quite a few of these puzzles in this area, but there's not much else to really solve, and we have ways of bypassing a lot of this as well, so you won't need to go the entire mess. Well, there is an aspect of this area that I find kind of weird that we'll see towards the end. So it's this painful bit trying to get this key.
I really don't want to know how this key ended up in a sewer.
Poor Rex is completely underwater there. I'd feel bad for him if he wasn't such an ass. I guess we can call it comeuppance. Well, he has already had his head down the toilet as well, so I guess it's fairly fitting. It's been a long day for Rex. One thing that's I find kind of a shame with this game is that the different disguises don't get different voice clips for the different maneuvers you can do. They all have Chase's generic grunts and everything like that, which will be fine for just the voice acting, because I don't expect them to record different voice lines for every single bloody character, but at least for doing post-game stuff, you could at least have different grunts like the Batman games did. For example, Bane had a really rough grunt, that kind of thing we switched to him. Even though canonically he wasn't in the level. It feels kind of like a bit of a missed trick. Then again, maybe there were just so many different characters in this game, they just didn't want to. Maybe just didn't have the voice budget for that kind of thing. Because there are hundreds of characters in this game. I'm sure they could have gone the Oblivion route, but it would have been very obvious and not really worth it in the long run for a lot of it. So we can actually skip this entire puzzle, but I do some of it because this fiery part that you need the fireman for made me think there was something more to this area than there was. This is the really odd design part, because you break these expecting to find a token or something at the end of a route you can take, and put out these fires and everything. It's like, oh, I wonder what's up this blue thing. It's just a way to the middle, which we didn't really need. It's just a very deep purple token. And it feels like a very strange thing to put there, in the way they did it, because it feels kind of arbitrary, like it's trying to make you waste time expecting some kind of collectible, and instead of just giving you a token. It feels very
It smells like these pipes
odd.
are used to carry sprouts. What a significant looking red panel that is. Hey, it worked!
So let's just ignore the rest of the puzzle. Use our astronaut buddy to get around there. Do you remember bypassing this entire area? If you remember, there's nothing else here. I quite like that kind of stuff with these puzzles, that you can just bypass a good chunk of them when you have certain powers. This is another thing where I'm not quite sure of the point of it.
Right, red color swapper.
Whoa, this emerald. It's meant to be the most flawless one in the world. Not like those useless lumps of crystal they get out of the bluebell mine. I mean, they're valuable, but this thing, whoa.
I quite like these little rubber ducks though, although you don't get the actual colour swapper thing for it till right at the end of this area, so I just kind of start doing them with the cheat on because it's way faster than to backtrack to the entire thing. But this is expected to become have some kind of payoff. But all it does is turn the fan on and release 1 million studs, and it's like, again, this is a late game power. I kind of expected more than that. There's a few things like that in this game where it feels like it's a little bit of an underwhelming thing that it gives you for what it asks you to wait for. You know, it asks you to wait right to the end of the game for what amounts to about, what, 300 studs without multipliers? Barely anything? Maybe 100 at a pinch, really. So let's move on. You can find the rest of those rubber duckies, which are the primary part of this section of the level. Yeah, I'm still expecting more to come of that fans, but just nothing happens. It's just studs it gives. I've never been a fan of those kind of environmental things in these kind of games, where you just give you like some studs for doing something that late game. It feels unsatisfying.
An air mattress down the toilet.
Like, ooh, finally, I've got this thing I can do. Oh, that's it? Wasn't worth the wait at all, was it? It's just a gripe I have with this kind of thing in general. Well, I always like when late game collectibles give you really cool stuff, like the flubber chests in Blue Dragon, for example. They give really satisfying things, for example, powerful late game spells for waiting to get the late game stuff. And that's always kind of satisfying.
That's a yellow color swapper, not red.
There's the rubber ducky.
There's a red one somewhere else.
I do like that they have little bits of dialogue for the wrong colour swappers as well, though that's pretty cute. It's a nice little touch that he actually mentions that you find it. That's pretty cool. So let's get to the next level again so we can find that final ducky, and then see what lies in the next few areas of the bank. Because we actually still have a reason to play through the entirety of this level. We have quite a lot of collectibles that we can deal with that we haven't dealt with yet. Not as many as we just made it sound, but enough to keep going. This is also weird, it feels like it should be something. Like, I mean beyond studs, but it's just not. There's a few things like that where it's just kind of an odd choice to have it just be practically nothing when you finally get back to it, because it gives an air of mystery, like, ooh, when will I be able to investigate that and see what that does, only to find it does nothing. It's just a very unsatisfying feeling. Still, 71 million subs is always nice. And we haven't even begun to multiply yet. 48's kind of child's play. But here's the last ducky, cleverly hidden behind these. So let's move on, shall we? To the actual interesting parts of the level. I'm really glad we're done with this part of the sewer. Almost. One last thing to get here. And then we'll move on to the rest of the thing.
I can almost taste that big old gemstone. The bell pepper emerald is gonna make me a fortune!
You know someone that can handle the sale?
No need. We're stealing it to order. I've been doing some work for a private buyer, and he wants it real bad. So don't mess up. The last guy who messed
This part's kind of annoying.
that was a real shame.
So you have to do the entirety of the level of the puzzle again.
So he's sleeping with the fishes now.
What?
Yeah, he's a night
Because the game doesn't let you use the infinite dynamite thing in this level, which is just annoying, really. It's kind of an obnoxious choice to make. Don't need that though, so we can just get straight to it. It's just annoying we have to get the dynamite every time we come through this area. I mean, it's the last time we'll have to do it, but it's still annoying. Because the game really could have just let the infinite dynamite stand, but no, it had to try and preserve its level design, even though the colour swapper gun doesn't bother doing that. So it's just, it feels like a very odd choice for them to have done that. But we've already got everything we can in here, so let's just speedrun it, shall we?
I better find the emerald and get out of here before someone catches me.
Way ahead of you, Chase.
Hey, Chase, I got to the really good part of the manual. You can use the color gun to turn things silver.
That kind of defeats the point of me robbing a bank, doesn't it?
It's not real silver, but it's close enough to make stuff all shiny and reflective. Useful if there are laser beams around. Capiche?
Yeah, that might be handy in this place.
Great. Just fill it with silver color if you see a swapper. And keep a lookout for the
I saw the gun, I was like, screw it.
Call me when you get out of the vault.
Why bother carrying it all the way across the room when you can just do this? And then this, forget the other part of the puzzle here, just turn it green. Forget about the side of the room entirely. Let's just solve the puzzle and move on to the room which actually has stuff in it. I just look quite like the crescendo that these little lights make as you build up to the Ode to Joy sequence. That's a pretty cool thing. But again, a sore spot I have is that those sequences, like the in-level stuff, can't be skipped at all. So this entire sequence you have to watch through again. I mean, I would have cut it out, but this kind of illustrates the point I'm trying to make, so I left it in because of that. Still, it's nice to have the music though. I spent this entire sequence trying to skip it, but nothing was happening. It wasn't allowing me to.
Now that is a jewel.
So let's now finally get out of here.
Breaking the law! I think they probably already know that, Phil. I guess I'm not getting out of here.
This guy's lucky I like go to Joy.
It's just undignified.
Although a line that I'm really disappointed I never got was from one of those two guards that I've got on a previous playthrough, was the whole, "Really? I'm getting arrested?" Because that's a really funny line. Where it's just like, wait, what? Really? Why me? It should be the other guys. And he kind of, a little bit of narrative to have him just kind of be bewildered that he's the one getting arrested by the bank robber. That's a really amusing idea. But here we have our final set of things to do up here. Psych, I thought it was too. It's just some blue studs, I've outgrown those. The ATM can live for fight another day, but we have the astronaut suit now, and we have an astronaut box that we weren't able to play with. There is a kind of pseudo puzzle here that I think might just be for a super big, but I didn't really bother with it. So I did kind of half of it to show that it was there, but I didn't really bother with it overall because I don't really want to do much that will give us basically nothing in return. Because we have enough super picks at this point anyway, and the LP is going to go on quite long as it is, and these videos are as well. So I don't want to do too much like stuff that wouldn't really expand the counter. It's the same reason I'm ignoring them super picks that I don't randomly get, just in the actual areas as well. So it's just there were unnecessary puzzles in a game with literally hundreds of necessary puzzles. So I just don't really see the need to do all like thousands of completely unnecessary puzzles as well. Because again, they don't count to completion, so it really, at this point, with this many super bigs, it just isn't worth it. But yeah, there's the thing, we can get 2 staffs from those. I don't even know where the second staff is. It's not in there, so I was like, forget it, let's just move on. But if you can find the 2 staffs, I think that just gives you a super big. We've got everything in at level 2 now. I like the bank manager, it's so unassuming. It's a very nice simple disguise, that one. I like his little beard. Oh, stubble at least. More and more of these gold bricks, which is always nice to have. So I'll see you next time. When we load. When we do the next thing. Bye.